Is my screen visible and am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So I was having some problem with my desktop computer, so I switched to my laptop. Okay, let me see what is the requested problems for today. Okay, so five of you wanted me to do problem number five. Sorry, problem number 44. So what is this 44? Um, okay, so problem number 44 says that um, x and y are square random variables with degrees of freedom 3 and 6 respectively. And excuse me. Okay. And then it asks determine the probability that x plus y is bigger than 10. I have a similar during my. Let me show you where that is. Okay. Okay, actually it is in the previous lecture where I defined chi-square. Chi-square is sum of squares of normals, right? So gamma distribution, and then I had defined chi-square, right? And then okay, right. So I asked you this question. Suppose x follows, is it? Yes, right. So suppose x follows chi-square 10 and y follows chi-square 11. What is the distribution of x plus y now? X plus y is chi-square 21 because x is sum of squares of 10 many normal and y is sum of squares of 11 many normal. So x plus y is the sum of 21 many normal. So essentially it's the same answer here that x plus y, excuse me, that x plus y follows chi square 9. Okay. Now this problem is asking what is the probability that x plus y is bigger than 10, right? You can do that just by integrating the PDF from 10 to infinity. Now, PDF of chi-square 9 is going to be 1 over 2 to the power 9 over 2 gamma 9 over 2 e to the power negative x over 2 x to the power 9 over 2 minus 1 dx. Okay. And I think that's it. So this is not doable by hand, so I will stop here. And this is the answer. If you want, actually, you can look at the table if you want to find the actual answer. So, what is that? Chi-square. Okay. chi-square distribution with 9 degrees of freedom, and we want to find the probability that it is bigger than 10. The answer is 0.35049. Okay, 0.35049. So let me write that down. 0.35049. All right, so this is the answer. So whoever was asking this question, do you need any more clarification? Problem 44.
No, sir.
Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can still ask me a question if you have. So let me move to the next problem, which is 34. No, actually 12. Problem number 12. So let me see what that problem is about. What does it say? Okay, so this is something about the Poisson distribution. Okay, let me write down the problem and then I will explain. So it says that the number of times an individual contracts during um, okay. Right. Okay. Individual contracts called in a given year is a Poisson. Okay. With parameter lambda is equal to 3. Okay. Um, Suppose in um, just been marketed has just been marketed that reduces the Poisson parameter to lambda is equal to 2. For 75% of the population, okay, for 75% of the, okay, and then for the other 25%, for the other 25% of the population, the drug has no stable effect. Okay. Now here's the question: if an individual, which is person, tries the drug for a year and has 0 colds in that time, how likely is it that the drug is beneficial for him. Now, from the wording of the problem, um, okay. So from the wording of the problem, you can guess that this is actually a Bayes theorem application. This is what is this saying? This is saying that so there is a new drug in the market which says that it will reduce to Poisson parameter 2, lambda is equal to. Previously it was Poisson lambda is equal to 3 without the drug. Now someone is taking the drug and then you are asking what is the probability that this person is not getting any contracting any cold because of the drug, because there is also a fair chance that a 25% chance that the person will be all right even if he or she doesn't take the drug, right? So let us understand the so before doing the problem, let us understand each part of it. So first part, the statement 1. So statement 1 says that what does it say? It says that on the average, right? So expected number of times a person catches cold during a year year is equal to 3. Without the drug, right? So without the drug, on the average, a person catch cold during a year 3 times, right? But if I say it as random variable x, then it is given that x follows Poisson 3. In other words, that implies that probability x is equal to k, that is the probability person catching cold k many times is exponential negative 3 to the power k over k factorial, for k is equal to 0, 1, 2 and so on. Okay. Now let us look at the statement 2. What does this statement tell you? So this statement tells you that suppose a new drug has just been marketed that reduces the Poisson parameter to lambda 2 and for 75% of the population. So essentially this is telling you that so statement 2, this is telling you that after taking the drug, right, so expected number of times a person catches cold in a year, given that he or she using the drug is 2. Okay, but so let us call this random variable y. Okay, so y follows Poisson 2. In other words, probability of y is equal to k, getting cold k many times is e to the power negative 2, 2 to the power k over k factorial for k is equal to 0, 1, 2 and so on. Okay. Now the catch is that this statement, so the whole statement 2, whole statement 2 is true only for 75% of the population. Okay, so let's recap again. So what it means? It means that without the medicine, on the average, a person gets cold 3 times a year, and particularly the probability of getting cold for 4 times, 0 times is given by this probability mass function. With the help of the medicine, it can reduce to 2. On the average, a person gets cold twice a year, but this is the population. 25%, which person, even if they are taking the medicine, on the average they will catch cold 3 times a year. So there is going to be no effect on the rest 25%. Okay. Now what is the problem? The problem is statement 3. So it is asking is a base theorem backup question. So basically a person is using the drug and he or she did not catch the cold. Now the question is that what is the reason, what is the probability that he did not catch the cold because of the drug? Because anyway, there is a probability of a person will not catch the cold without the drug, so which is going to be equal to 1 negative 3. But the question is, what is the probability that that this person is not catching cold just because of the drug? So that is going to be essentially using base theorem. So essentially what you are trying to find here is that probability that the drug is beneficial for the person given that he or she is not catching cold after using the drug. So how do you do such problems? A very usual trick is that you define this as event E, define this as event F, right? Essentially, you are trying to find probability of E given F. Now, if you use base theorem, this is essentially going to be probability of F given E times probability of E divided by probability. Okay. So now, question of now. Essentially using base theorem. Okay. Now let us figure out the probabilities. So, so one by one, probability of F given E. What is the probability of F given E? Now, what is the event F? Event F is that he or she is not catching cold, and E is that the drug is beneficial for the person. Now, if the drug is beneficial for the person, what is the probability that the person will not catch the cold? That is actually from statement 2, right? If the drug is beneficial for the person, then the probability that he won't catch cold is given by this probability mass function. So we are finding the probability that he did not catch cold, which is going to be e to the power negative 2, 2 to the power 0 over 0 factorial, right? Which is e to the power negative 2. So if you look at this part here, that probability that the person catching cold 0 times, if that drug is beneficial to him, is going to be e to the power negative 2 times 2 to the power 0 over 0 factorial. Okay, so that is probability f given a. Now the next part is probability of a. Okay. So probability of E is the event that, what is it? The drug is beneficial for the person. Okay. Now what is the probability that the drug is beneficial for the person? It is to 75%. Right, so drug is beneficial to the person for the 75% of the population, right? So for the 75% of the population. So probability of E is going to be 75%. Okay. And down there, probability of F, right? So probability of F, what is F? F is the event that he or she is not catching cold after using the drug. Now, there are two cases you can have, which is probability of F, that a person is not catching cold after using the drug. You know the usual Bayes theorem technique. Given that the drug is beneficial for the person, plus probability of F given E. So given that the drug is not beneficial for the person times probability that the drug is not beneficial for the person. This is from the very first chapter that we did. So this is going to be probability F given E times probability of E, which is E square times 3/4 plus probability F given E complement. Now what is probability of F given E complement? If you say it in words, probability of F given E complement means that F means that person is not catching cold given that the drug is not beneficial for the person. Now if the drug is not beneficial for the person, what is the probability that the person catching cold? That is actually from statement 1, right? So without the drug a person catch cold is given by that probability, right? So probability of x is equal to 0, that person is not catching cold without the drug, is going to be to the power 0 over 0, which is e to the. So this is going to be a person not catching cold without the drug is e to the power negative 3 times probability complement is 1/4. So finally the answer is e to the power negative 2 times 3/4 divided by e to the power negative 2 times 3/4 plus e to the power negative 3 times 1/4. You can simplify a little bit. So like how do I do? So 3 e to the power negative 3 e to the power negative 2 plus e to the power negative 3. If I multiply by e cube, I get 3e over 3e plus 1. Anyway, so this is the answer. So whoever was requesting this problem, do you have any concern?
Sir, how did you find the probability of F given E complement? That I could not understand that.
So this green part, right? Probability of F given E complement?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Now, if you put that in words, right? So what is E complement? E complement is that the drug is not working for that person, right? Drug is not effective for the person. That is E complement, right? And what is F? F is the fact that the person is not catching any cold. Right? So we are asking, given that the drug is not working for the person, so essentially like the person is not taking the drug, right? The person is not taking the medicine. So if the person is not taking the medicine, what is the probability that the person will not catch any cold, right? That is actually the statement 1, that number of times person catch cold without the medicine, right? So and that follows this probability mass function, right? So probability that the person catch cold k many times without the use of medicine is e to the power negative 3 to the power k over k factorial. We are interested in the fact that and the person is not catching cold, right? So person is not catching cold without the drug, which means x is equal to 0. So provided that the person is not catching cold without the drug is e to the power negative 3, 3 to the power 0 over 0 factorial, which is e to the power negative 3. Is that fine? So this is how I got this e to the power negative 3.
Okay.
Okay? Alright?
Yes.
And probability of E complement is 1/4. Like if the probability of E is probability of effectiveness is 3/4, 75%, right? Probability that the drug is effective is 75%, which is 3/4. So drug is not effective is 1/4. Right? So this is how I'm getting it. Any more question about that? Okay. So let me see the next requested problem. Problem number. So why so many? This is essentially an application of the normal distribution thing. So it says that the annual rainfall rainfall in Cincinnati is normally distributed. 0.14 inches. Variation 8.7 inches. Problem is, what is the probability this year rainfall will exceed 42 inches? I don't know why is everyone asking. So what is the probability? Probability that rainfall will exceed 42 inches. So let me do that. So x, okay. So x is the, excuse me. X is the total rainfall, right? Which follows normal distribution with mean 40.14 and sigma 8.7, so 8.7 square. That's the variance. Okay. What do you want to find? We want to find probability that x bigger than 42. How to do that? We just use the normal table, but there is a catch. The catch is that, so we will find this out. Okay. You can put the mu equal to something, sigma equal to something, and so mu is what? Mu is 40.14. Sigma is 8.7. We want to find probability that is bigger than 42. So 0.41535. But the problem is that if you do not have this calculator, if you are using the what is that? If you are using the table, right? Then how do you do this? If you are using the table, do I have it here somewhere? One second. Okay, yes. So if you are using the table, right? So this table is only for normal 0, 1, right? So this table is only for normal 0, 1. Unlike the online calculator, in the online calculator you have normal any mu and any sigma, you can use the calculator. But this table, if I give the table, this is only for normal 0, 1. If that is the question, like how do you find it for normal 0, 1 only? Then,
Excuse me, sir. Sir,
hello? Yes?
sir, in the exam we will use the normal calculation table only.
Yes, right.
Okay.
Yeah, so if this is an exam problem and you only have normal 0, 1 table, right? So table is only for normal 0, 1, right? Is only for normal 0, 1, right? It's not for sigma square. There is a wave transform, right? So I saw it last time. So x minus mu 40.14 divided by sigma, which is 8.7, bigger than 42 minus 40.14 over 8.7. Now, benefit of doing that is if you do that, right? So if you do that, this is going to be exactly normal 0, 1. Unlike the central limit theorem, it is not approximately, it is exactly normal 0, 1. So this is what I said in the last lecture actually. If you have a normal distribution and if you properly shift and scale it, you can make it exactly normal 0, 1. So where is that? I said it somewhere. Yes, okay. So you say this is written in the blue line. That if x is normal mu sigma square, then by properly shifting and scaling, x minus mu over sigma will be exactly normal 0, 1. It is not approximately, it is exactly normal 0, 1. Okay. So I'm going to use that. I'm basically using that fact that so the x was following normal mu sigma square. So this is my mu, and this is sigma square. So x minus mu over sigma will be exactly normal 0, 1. And therefore I can use normal 0, 1 table only, right? So this is essentially probability that z bigger than, what is it? So z is normal 0, 1. Bigger than whatever that is. So let me figure this out. 42 minus 40.14 divided by 8.7, which is 0.2138. Okay, let's call it 0.2138. So essentially it is normal 0, 1 distribution bigger than 0.138. Okay, you can get it from the table. You can find it from the table. .138, right? But let me show you an interesting thing. So normal mu 40.14 sigma 8.7 bigger than 42 is 0.41535, right? But if I, so let's remember this number 0.41535, right? This would be the answer actually. But if I change it to mu 0, sigma 1, and x, what was our x? X was 0.2138, 0.2138. So you see, you get the exact same answer, 0.41535. Okay. So you get 0.41535. Anyway, part B of the same problem. So what does the part B tell you? So does anyone have
apply CLT here?
there is no need to apply CLT. Some of I can tell you
Sir?
why. Next,
Sir,
yes.
Sir, in part A, while finding from the table, in the positive side, we are taking point Z we are taking from point to column, and in that same row, we are going to point 0, 1.
Yes, right. So you cannot get exactly this number. So in the table, what you look for is you look for this part point 2, right?
2,
Point
point 2.
2, and then point 0, 1. Okay, you get a
Sir,
number, right?
sir, but the number is very much different from this.
Right. So that number is something like point
0.5832.
6. Point 6. It will be something point 6, like 6 or something.
0.5832.
Yeah, right. So because the table, so you have to remember that, right? So this table gives the left side probability.
Okay, so 1 minus this one.
Exactly. You have to 1 minus that. If you 1 minus that, you will get something close enough to this. Not exactly, because
Okay,
we are missing this 3 8, so that's why. But you have to do 1 minus, right?
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So for the part B, no CLT. No CLT. How do you do part B? You see, so X1 is the first year's rainfall, right? Let's call this like I. So Xi is the ith year's rainfall. And they follow normal 40.14, 8.7 square, right? Each of these Xi's follow that, right? Normal. Therefore, X1 plus X2, this I also told you this one last time, that if you have two normal, then their sum is exactly normal, not approximately. Unlike the CLT, their sum is exactly normal distribution. So let me show you here. You see this, suppose these Xi's are independently identically distributed normal mean sigma square. Then I have shown you that the summation of Xi, which I wrote as Y here, this Y is exactly normal n times mu comma n times sigma square. It is not approximately. And I also told you that this is not a CLT. This is exactly normal 0 1 after proper shifting and spilling, right? So that's exactly what we are doing here. So this x1, x2 are both normal. So this is going to be normal. Excuse me. So whoever was asking this, who was asking this? Who was asking about the CLT Somoje? So this is not a CLT. This is exactly normal. Normal what? 2 times 40.14. So let me actually simplify that. Which is 80.28, and then 2 times 8.7 square. Okay. Now what you do, you are trying to find the probability of x1 plus x2 bigger than 84, right? So you repeat previous problem is bigger than, you subtract the mean divided by the standard deviation. We will be doing the same thing here. We will be subtracting 80.28 dividing by the standard deviation, right? So x1 plus x2 minus 18.28 divided by 8.7 square root of 2 standard deviation, right? Bigger than what is that? 84 minus 80.28 divided by 8.7 times square root of 2, and so on. So this part here is going to be normal 0 1, right? And then you can find it from the table or the calculator, whichever you use. Okay. So is this part fine? And then part C is about 3 years rainfall. Again the same thing, right? So it's not a big deal. So part C is about sum of 3 years rainfall. One. D is the thing is that we are assuming that rainfall from different years are independent. Okay, so this essentially summarizes the problem 34, and I think I have answered most of the questions which were requested. Yeah, 12, 34, 44. So let me know if you have any, if you need any more clarification about this last one, 34. And actually that quiz is I think already online. Quiz is online, and you may leave the session.